Part 2 is the SDA Church Babylon. Let us read passages from the inspired writings of the Spirit of Prophecy. The question, is the church perfect? Number 1. Testimonies to Ministers and Gospel Workers, page 15. I testify to my brethren and sisters that the Church of Christ, enfeebled and defective as it may be, is the only object on earth on which he bestows his supreme regard. Number 2. Testimonies to Ministers and Gospel Workers, page 45. Has God no living church? He has a church, but it is the church militant, not the church triumphant. We are sorry that there are defective members, that there are tares amid the wheat. Number 3. 8 Testimonies for the Church, page 42. Now the church is militant. Now we are confronted with a world in midnight darkness, almost wholly given over to idolatry. But the day is coming in which the battle will have been fought, the victory won. Number 4. Evangelism, page 707. The work is soon to close. The members of the church militant who have proved faithful will become the church triumphant. Is the General Conference the voice of God? You have no right to manage unless you manage in God's order. Are you under the control of God? Do you see your responsibility to Him? That these men should stand in a sacred place to be as the voice of God to the people, as we once believed the General Conference to be, that is past. What we want now is reorganization. General Conference Bulletin, 34th Session, Volume 4, Extra Number 1, April 3, 1901, page 25, columns 1 and 2. Are we to separate from the church, since it is no longer the voice of God? The answer is big no. Let us read inspiration. Testimonies to Ministers and Gospel Workers, page 46. While the Lord brings into the church those who are truly converted, Satan at the same time brings persons who are not converted into its fellowship. While Christ is sowing the good seed, Satan is sowing the tares. There are 2 opposing influences continually exerted on the members of the church. One influence is working for the purification of the church, and the other for the corrupting of the people of God. Since the wheat and tares are together in the church, there must be a revival and reformation within the SDA churches. Let us read 1 Selected Messages, page 128. A revival and a reformation must take place under the ministration of the Holy Spirit. Revival and reformation are 2 different things. Revival signifies a renewal of spiritual life, a quickening of the powers of mind and heart, a resurrection from spiritual death. Reformation signifies a reorganization, a change in ideas and theories, habits and practices. Reformation will not bring forth the good fruit of righteousness unless it is connected with the revival of the Spirit. Revival and reformation are to do their appointed work, and in doing this work they must blend. Will all the SDA churches members revived? The answer is no. Let us read inspiration. 1 Selected Messages, page 122. Are we hoping to see the whole church revived? That time will never come. What should we do since the whole church will not revived? 1 Selected Messages, page 380. There are persons in the church who are not converted and who will not unite in earnest, prevailing prayer. We must enter upon the work individually. Will the SDA church fall? 1. 2 Selected Messages, page 380. The church may appear as about to fall, but it does not fall. It remains, while the sinners in Zion will be sifted out, the chaff separated from the precious wheat. This is a terrible ordeal, but nevertheless it must take place. 2 Selected Messages, page 390. There is no need to doubt, to be fearful that the work will not succeed. God is at the head of the work, and He will set everything in order. If matters need adjusting at the head of the work, God will attend to that, and work to right every wrong. Let us have faith that God is going to carry the noble ship, which bears the people of God safely into port. So, when is the time of the loud cry? Revelation 14 and 18 is, yet in the future. Great Controversy, page 389, 390. The second angel's message of Revelation 14 was first preached in the summer of 1844, and it then had a more direct application to the churches of the United States, where the warning of the judgment had been most widely proclaimed and most generally rejected, and where the declension in the churches had been most rapid. But the message of the second angel did not reach its complete fulfillment in 1844. The churches then experienced a moral fall in consequence of their refusal of the light of the Advent message, but that fall was not complete. As they have continued to reject the special truths, for this time they have fallen lower and lower. Not yet, however, can it be said that Babylon is fallen, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. She has not yet made all nations do this. The spirit of world conforming and indifference to the testing truths for our time exists and has been gaining ground in churches of the Protestant faith in all the countries of Christendom, and these churches are included in the solemn and terrible denunciation of the second angel. But the work of apostasy has not yet reached its culmination. The Bible declares that before the coming of the Lord, Satan will work with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness. And they that received not the love of the truth, that they might be saved, will be left to receive strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. 2 Thessalonians 2 verses 9-11. Not until this condition shall be reached, and the union of the church with the world shall be fully accomplished throughout Christendom, will the fall of Babylon be complete. The change is a progressive one, and the perfect fulfillment of Revelation 14 verse 8 is yet future. Conclusion. It means to say that Revelation 14, which says Babylon is fallen, is the Protestant churches, not the SDA. It did not reach its complete fulfillment in 1844, where the churches experience a moral fall in consequence of their refusal of the light of the Advent message. But it will reach its complete downfall at the time when the church and the world will unite and form an alliance and make a law contrary to God's law, simply the mark of the beast or Sunday law.